What's going on, everybody? You know, the way that we're wired, especially guys, are wired to kind of be treasure hunters. We like looking for treasure. Like we like pirates, right? Pirates are cool. Even though pirates are like bad guys, they're searching for treasure, right? We think about some of these TV shows like, American Pickers. They're treasure hunting is what they're doing. Or Gold Rush, where they're literally looking for gold. See, I live in the Sacramento Valley, just below the foothills of Northern California, where gold was really discovered and the first gold rush really hit. And, in the community in which I live, like a quarter of a mile from me, runs the Cosumnes River. And along the Cosumnes River, one thing I like to do from time to time is I go gold panning. And I have a little vial, and there's not a lot in there, you can see, but there's a little bit of gold in here that over, a few years and a few trips out to gold panning, I've come up with that. And every time you get to the bottom of the pan and there's a little bit of gold, it's really cool. Well, I think one of the reasons that a lot of us like cards and we like collecting cards is the same sort of rush of treasure hunting. When you go to a card show, one of the things that you're excited about is, am I going to stumble across some awesome deal for some card I've always wanted? Right? I mean, that's part of the excitement of a card show. And every time you look at a case that you haven't looked in yet, that case might have that card that you want and you can get a great deal on. Well, at card shows, another place that we can find cool deals are in the value boxes. Like a lot of us, myself included, I really enjoy just going through card by card through those boxes because I might stumble across something awesome. Well, the problem is there aren't a lot of card shows and they aren't that frequent. So we don't get that thrill of treasure hunting for a great deal or a great card, except for at card shows. But that treasure hunting exists even when we aren't at card shows. Every single auction site, whether it's a platform like PWCC or Golden or eBay, or there are a bunch of them, there are treasures out there that if you dig hard enough, you can find them. See, there are some techniques and some things you could do with, filters to possibly stumble across them. And so while a lot of people just like looking at the card show value boxes, I like looking at the digital value box like eBay or PWCC or Golden. Or the others. The point that I'm making is we don't just have the hunt and we don't just have, speaking of, like one of the reasons a lot of guys like hunting, well, one, you get out of the house and you get outside and you hang out with your buddies, but also a lot of guys like hunting because of the hunt. What if you're going to see the biggest elk you've ever seen on this hunt? What if you have that adrenaline rush when you're sitting there and then you hear something and you look out and you see some massive buck? We love hunting. And I don't mean just outdoor hunting. I mean hunting for something special. Don't just rely on card show boxes and card show cases to do your hunting for cards. Let me show you a quick video. This is super quick on a couple of quick filters that you could do to help yourself treasure hunt and digitally value box dig on one of these auction sites for card gold. Check this out.
All right, so we head on over to eBay, and up in the search bar, we go ahead and search whatever topic we want, and the more specific, the better. But if we keep it broad, we might see things we wouldn't have otherwise seen. So I'm going to go 1956 Topps SGC. And then you'll see over to the left, there are all these filters. So I'm going to choose baseball just because for the example, I want to kind of narrow it down a little bit, but keep things broad to try to find some deals. And you see all these other filters over here that you could choose. Now, if I go and I look back up at the top, so kind of go scroll back up, you'll see another thing I would recommend doing is going to auction. Auction is usually where you might find a card that falls between the cracks and you can get a super good deal. So set it at auction. And then once you set it at auction, you're going to want to head over to the right and you want to find ending soonest. So these are the cards that are going to be ending soon that are auctions that are in the criteria that you want. And then when you're looking here, you go, oh, maybe a card has an hour left, or maybe it has 10 minutes left. Now, I know you could do eSnipes. I use Gixxen as my snipe bid program. But whatever you use or you don't want to do that, you can see things that are coming up. You go, why has anyone bid on that? And you can find those types of deals in here. So, you scroll down and you can see all these cards, and some of these you go, these are kind of low. I'm going to maybe watch a couple of these or something. Pretty good stuff.
So it's very simple. You just really change a couple of filters. My recommendation is always do auctions, because buy it nows are usually items that the person has a pretty good idea of what it's worth. Now, occasionally you'll find a buy it now that's a great deal. But usually it's the auction. It's the card that goes unnoticed. Because remember, for an auction price to get high, 2 people have to be looking for that card in that grade at that time. So if you're there to find the things that slip through the cracks, you can get some great deals. And we're going to look at 50 great deals from the 1950s here in just a second. But set those filters to auction. Sort the results by what's ending soonest. And then pick the description and the card and the set or the player or the grade that you're most interested in. And if you hunt and you dig long enough, you will find some awesome deals. So we started this in August. At the end of August, I did a video, 50 deals under $50, to show that there are great deals and great cards available at all price points. See, I'm not going out there buying $1,000 cards. Most of us aren't. But there are great deals out there. Let's look at 50 great deals from cards that sold in September that are under $50. And all of them are graded. Now, why graded? Why do they have to be? They don't have to be graded. I just chose graded because sometimes the pictures aren't great. And this way, the grade can give us a pretty good idea of how nice the card is. So I'm going to zip through them. We're going to move fast. There's 50 to take a look at from September, and some of them are awesome. And of course, I'm bringing back my 5 mind-blowing picks for September from the 50s for under $50. Let's check them out.
All right, let's start treasure hunting. First up, with a 1953 PSA 3 Ralph Kiner. Now, this guy was a prolific home run hitter. It's a beautiful 53 set, and it was under $50. How about a second-year Harmon Killebrew and a 4? It's a little high center, but it's under $50, and it's a second-year Harmon Killebrew. I think it's a really nice-looking card. $49 for an SGC4. Next up, a 1953 PSA 4 Mini Minoso, also from that beautiful 53 set. This is a PSA 4 for $49. That seems crazy cheap to me. I think all three of these deals under $50 are really pretty amazing. How about a 58 PSA 3 Hank Aaron All-Star card? We're talking about Hank Aaron's. Now, his rookie card was 54. So you got a 58 All-Star and a PSA 3 for $48.77. Little off center side to side, but again, a beautiful card in a PSA 3. How about Stan Musial's first base card from Topps? The 1959 Topps Stan Musial in an SGC 4 was $48. And that's pretty darn well centered, really nice color. That's a beautiful 4 of Stan Musial's first Topps base card. Another beautiful 53, a PSA 2 Eddie Matthews. Now remember, Eddie Matthews' rookie card is from the 52 set. It's the last card in the set. It's crazy expensive, but his second card, which is really a good-looking card, for $47.50 in a PSA 2. How about a 1956 Warren Spahn in a PSA 4? Again, you know how I feel about Warren Spahn. I love his 55. His 56 is great, but the 55 I like more, for $47. Again, a 56 PSA 4 Warren Spahn for $47. Again, this is dollar boxing, value boxing on eBay. How about a 1953? A lot of 53s, beautiful 53s of Hall of Famers. Whitey Ford in an SGC 2.5 for $46. Wow, a 2.5, SGC 2.5, 1953 Whitey Ford. An iconic card, very recognizable card, $46. And then we got Roberto Clemente, 1959 SGC 2. How does that even happen? How do we get a Roberto Clemente? You know it's coming. You know it's coming. There it is. The 1959 Topps Roberto Clemente in an SGC 2 is the first mind-blown pick. How about a 51 Topps Redback Duke Snider in an SGC 4 for $45.55? As you'll see, we are going from the most expensive on down, so the deals keep getting cheaper. There are deals in all price ranges. How about the beautiful 54 Richie Ashburn in an SGC 5? That's a really nice card for $45. I mean, Richie Ashburn has a huge following. He is beloved in a 5 from the 54 set. I sprinkled in a few football cards for you. How about I love the 1955 All-American set. And this is a red Grange. Sure, it's an SGC 1, but it's still a red Grange card, and it's from that awesome 55 All-American set for $45. How about a 1951 PSA 4 Burke Ross doubles card? Now, these doubles cards, there's not a million of these out there. You don't see these all the time. It's got Rizzuto and Rosen on it for $45. 1951 PSA 4 Burke Ross doubles. Another football card. We got a 1952 SGC 5.5 Bobby Lane. Now, that guy was like a first-team All-Pro several years. I mean, he was a prolific passer. Played on a few teams. Here shown for the Lions. That's a gorgeous card. Look at the color on it. $43.88. How about a 1952 PSA 2 Wheaties Autogram? Now, these are hand-cut cards, so a lot of them get authentic because they're cut within the lines. And this is a PSA 2 for $42 for an Autogram Wheaties card in a PSA 2. How about a Don Drysdale rookie card? Right? It's a 2. It's got an MK qualifier on it. But you know what else? It's a Don Drysdale rookie card for $42 in a PSA 2 holder from the 1957 Topps set. Again, we're moving quickly. Next up, an SGC 4.5 Richie Ashburn in from the 51 Bowman set? Are you kidding me? Oh, there's another mind-blown pick. $42 for the 4.5 Richie Ashburn. How about a 1954 Bowman? And this is a Bob Feller for $41 for the 54 Bowman SGC 3 Bob Feller. $41. Really cool looking card. How about a 57 SGC 2.5 Ernie Banks? Now his rookie card was 54. So he's got 3 cards before this. In a 2.5, it's such a cool looking card for $41. Again, every card is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. How about this one? We got the Rival Fence Busters, Willie Mays and Duke Snider in a 4.5. And look at the centering. This thing is beautiful from the 58 top set. Another mind-blown pick. I couldn't pass this one up. It's a 4.5 for $41, but I mean, that looks like better than a 4.5. How about a 1959 SGC 6 Mini Minoso? I mean, a card of a Hall of Famer from 1959 in a 6 for $40.69. Again, it's $15 at SGC to get cards graded. That's crazy to me. A 57 SGC 4 Pee Wee Reese. Really cool picture of him crouching down, feeling the ball in a 4. Very well centered card for $40.39. Deal after deal. And these deals are for all budgets. A 1958 Topps PSA 4 Warren Spahn. This one is a beautiful card. Look how well centered that one is with the green background for $40.03. A PSA 4, I mean, that's a really nice PSA 4 of Warren Spahn, who you know I love. Now, the next card up is a card that you are going to maybe not recognize. Well, some of you will, but the Callahan cards. These were distributed from the Hall of Fame and at some of the ballparks back in 1950. This is a PSA 6 Callahan of Honus Wagner. Went for $39. Again, this card is almost 75 years old of Honus Wagner. The first Topps card ever of Stan Musial was his All-Star card in 1958, and this is an SGC 6. It's a little off-center, but the color and corners are great, and it was just $39. Now look at this, 1959 Topps. Mantle hits his 42nd home run highlight card in an SGC 3, and it's really well centered. And yeah, if it's got Mantle on it, and it's good looking, and it's under $40, that definitely blows my mind for sure. 1958 SGC 3.5 Ernie Banks. Really cool card in the really cool 58 set. I think that set gets overlooked sometimes. $38.55 in a 3.5 for SGC of Ernie Banks. Now, again, we got another Roberto Clemente. How we're getting Roberto Clemente's for under $50, I'm not sure. The bottom left corner has obviously seen better days, as has the top left. It is an SGC 1, but it's also Roberto Clemente in the 57 top set, and it's $38. One of my favorite all-time looking cards is the 1952 PSA 2 Monty Irvin. Love the look of this card, and it's $38 that it sold for in September in the PSA 2 from the 1952 top set. How about a 1955 Bowman SGC 4 YD4? That's the television card set, as you can see. But that's a really nice 4. Really nice color and corners for $38 of one of the best left-handed pitchers of all time. One of the best pitchers of all time. And then we got another Whitey Ford, this time in an SGC 2 and a 56 Topps. Again, pretty darn well centered, really good eye appeal, $37.58. Card after card after card These are great cards selling for cheap. How about a 59 SGC 1.5 of Willie Mays? It's a well-centered card. It's not like it's distracting off center. Sure, the corners are soft and rounded, but it's $37.34 for a 1959 Topps Willie Mays. Anytime you can get a Hall of Famer from the 52 Topps set for under $40, this one is Gil Hodges in an SGC 1.5 for $37. I think there's always going to be demand for the 52 Topps set. There's always going to be a demand for Hall of Famers. The 1953 Roy Campanella, Topps Roy Campanella, in a PSA 2 sold for $36. That's a really recognizable card. He's smiling, laughing there in the picture. I really like the 53 set. And the 54 set has some good ones too. This is a SGC3 Duke Snider from the 54 Topps set. I think that's a really nice looking 3, really well centered, great eye appeal. Duke Snider, super affordable. 1959 SGC 4.5 Fence Busters card with Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews with that green background and the yellow circle in a 4.5 for $34.33. I mean, there have been 10 cards already that if I could buy them at the price they sold for, I would have. Now, Sam Snead does not have a ton of cards. There are not a ton of vintage golf cards, but this is a 52 Wheaties PSA 5 of Sam Snead. Again, these cards are hand cut, and a lot of them get authentic. So to get the 5 is impressive, and it's Sam Snead, and it's $33. How about a 55 Bowman Bob Feller in an SGC 4? Again, Bob Feller, $33. An SGC 4 from the 55 Bowman set is a pretty darn solid card. It's not trash at all. It's good looking. How about the 58 Topps Harmon Killebrew in an SGC 4? Again, Killebrew's rookie is the 55, so this would make it his 4th card, and it's $33 in a 4. This card is hard to find centered, yet this one is pretty darn good, maybe 60-40 or so, side to side, a really nice card. The 59 SGC 5 Hank Aaron World Series Homer card. I mean, a 59 SGC 5 of anybody's great, but how about Hank Aaron? Yeah, that has to be blowing my mind. For just $32.99. A third-year Al Kaline is the 1956 Topps in an SGC 2.5. Centering's a little off in both directions, but it's only $32.81 for one of the best hitters of all time. And again, it's an SGC 2.5. It's a decent card. How about a Curt Flood rookie? Again, not every card is a Hall of Famer in this video, but a lot of them are. Curt Flood is not, but it's an SGC 4.5, and it's $32.01, and it's his rookie, and it is a really good-looking card for $32. How about a 1951 Bowman SGC 4 Robin Roberts? Really pretty decent centered. A really famous set, the 51 set, a Hall of Famer, for $32. Again, it's $15 at least to get it graded. That means the card is $17 and the grading is $15. Now, here's another non-Hall of Famer, but I love the card. Sam Jethro spent a lot of his career in the Negro Leagues, then comes over to the majors, wins the Rookie of the Year, has a whole bunch of stolen base titles, is a really good player. And this is a beautiful card from the 53 Bowman color set for right around $30. Another Callahan, this time a PSA 8. Again, these are from 1950, were distributed at the Hall of Fame and some of the ballparks. And a Tris Speaker in a PSA 8 for $28.50. That seems crazy low to me. Another Callahan, the third and final one in this month's episode. A 1950 PSA 7, a 7 Callahan of Cy Young for $26.88, which is right about what it costs to get cards graded with PSA. And this card is 75 years old almost. 1950 Bowman SGC 4 early win, another Hall of Famer in a 4-holder, really well centered all the way around for $25.25. I don't know how a card could be centered too much better than that, and it's 75 years old. How about a second-year Hoyt Wilhelm? Hoyt Wilhelm's rookie card is in the 52 top set. This is the 53 top set. It's a PSA 4. That one blew my mind. A Hall of Fame pitcher, really good player, $22.50, less than it would cost to get the card graded. 1950 Bowman. This is a second-year Roy Campanella. Sure, it's an SGC1. Sure, it has a crease through the middle of it. But you know what? It is a second-year Roy Campanella, and it's $22.22 from the 1950 Bowman set. That's unbelievable. And then we got a 1953 SGC2 Monty Irvin, another really cool card of him. He does not have bad-looking cards. For under $20, $19.50, pretty well centered, really decent eye appeal of a Hall of Famer for $19.50. So what did you think? Were the deals this month better than they were from August? Where do you stand on this episode? Hope you enjoyed it. Keep hunting. There are treasures out there to be had.